At my wedding, my future wife's ex-boyfriend played their intimate photos on the big screen. The guests were shocked. I angrily confronted her, but she just said, "Michael Turner is just immature. Is there any need to get so angry?" I couldn't believe it. Her ex-boyfriend had ruined my wedding, yet I wasn't even allowed to be upset. With her tolerance, it was as if my own ex-boyfriend had hit me. "You, a deaf man, have the nerve to marry Rachel Evans? Fine, I won't marry her, but don't think you two will have an easy time either." At that moment, the screen began showing photos of Rachel and Michael Turner together. Although the MC tried to stop it quickly, all the guests had already seen it. I stood there on stage, staring at Michael sitting calmly at his table in a white suit, looking more like the groom than I did. Rage overwhelmed me, and I rushed over and slapped him. Rachel shoved me hard. "Michael's just immature. Why are you overreacting?" I nearly fell. Looking at Rachel in disbelief, I saw Michael covering his face, eyes brimming with tears. "Rachel Evans, I wish you happiness." "I'll try to live without you," he said, tears rolling down his handsome face before he ran off. Rachel instinctively turned to chase after him. I called her name, but my voice cracked with emotion. The wedding had barely started, and she was already leaving me in front of everyone. She paused, seeming to realize the situation, but only hesitated a moment before turning to me and saying, "The wedding will be postponed for half an hour. I'll be back soon." I watched her walk away. My parents came over to comfort me, urging me to wait. An hour passed, and she still didn't return. I became a spectacle. Trying to salvage our family's dignity, I announced, "Sorry, everyone. Today's wedding has been changed to a birthday party. It just so happens to be my 28th birthday, so please enjoy the cake. I'll return your gifts later. I hope you all have a good time." After sending the guests away, Rachel's mother left silently, and my parents were furious. I tried to comfort them as best I could. After getting them settled at their hotel, I was emotionally and physically drained. I called Rachel on video, and it didn't connect until the 6th try. When it finally did, Michael Turner's face appeared. "Rachel, you should go back. The wedding must be a mess. James Carter will be mad." She replied, "He won't. He'll wait for me." Michael scoffed, "He's literally groveling for you." My chest tightened. I didn't want to hear another word, so I hung up. She called back later, but it was a voice call. I didn't answer. That night, I stayed at the hotel with my parents and muted my phone. The next morning, my parents looked at me with such sadness. I forced a smile. "Mom, Dad, you should go home. I'll take care of myself." My mom was heartbroken. "You've been with her for 3 years. You even got the marriage certificate." Her voice trembled with disappointment. I hugged her gently. "Mom, I'm sorry about the wedding. I'll divorce her." My parents had lived abroad for years because of work and came back just for this wedding, only to witness their son become a joke. They supported my decision to leave Rachel but wanted to stay in case I needed them. I convinced them to go home. I couldn't let them suffer with me. After dropping them off at the airport, I went home, only to find Rachel waiting for me. Her hair was still damp, and she wore a formal outfit like she had just showered and changed. "James Carter, this is for you," she said, handing me a box of designer cufflinks. I looked at her silently. She'd done this before, giving gifts after making me angry, like a sweet bribe after a slap. I used to accept it because I loved her, but after last night, everything changed. "This is too expensive. I can't take it," I said. Rachel just smiled. "We're husband and wife. What's mine is yours. Why not?" I stared at her until she finally softened. "I'm sorry, husband. I was wrong last night. You know Michael Turner. We were together for 6 years. He just couldn't handle the fact I was getting married. I was afraid he'd lose it. So, you just abandoned me?" I asked. Rachel rolled her eyes. I already explained. What more do you want? My heart went cold. An apology. What? Are you trying to embarrass me? He was the one who brought the photos. He hurt me. Shouldn't he be the one to apologize? Rachel looked annoyed. James Carter, can you stop overreacting? I told Yoha's just ignorant. My heart shattered. Something's come up at work, she said. I can't go on the honeymoon. We'll talk later. She straightened her jacket and walked out. I didn't even get to tell her I wanted a divorce. Rachel Evans was my senior. We met at the alumni exchange meeting 3 years ago, introduced by the school leadership. She was the one who pursued me first. At the time, I thought she was capable and charismatic, so it felt natural for us to be together. Later, I happened to browse the school's forum and discovered that Rachel Evans and Michael Turner had once been a famous couple on campus. They started dating in their freshman year and stayed together for 2 more years after graduation. Eventually, I heard they broke up due to personality differences. 6 years is a long time, but that shouldn't be a reason for Rachel Evans to walk away from our wedding. When I came to my senses, I somehow ended up calling her assistant and asked if something had happened at the company. The assistant sounded confused and said, "No, President Rachel Evans arranged everything in advance so she could go on a honeymoon with you." I said, "Okay, I get it. Thanks for your hard work." I packed my things and moved back to my own place. After sorting out my emotions, I returned to school to continue my modeling work and turned off my phone for a while. That evening, Rachel Evans showed up at my door, visibly irritated. "James Carter, can you stop making trouble?" I looked at her calmly. "Let's find time to get the divorce certificate." She looked at me like I was joking. "James Carter, you're a foreigner and disabled. Are you really sure you'll live a better life without me?" Her eyes glanced at the cochlear implant behind my ear. I had suffered from otitis media and a high fever at age 6, which left me deaf. Since then, I've relied on cochlear hearing aids to hear the world. Rachel knew all of this when we met. The same woman who once praised me for being brave and positive was now using my disability to hurt me. I was deeply disappointed, yet she remained arrogant. "If you come back with me, I'll just assume you had a little temper. As for the wedding, I'll make it up to you." Her tone was so condescending, as if I should feel honored to be chosen by her. I said, "I'm being honest, not dramatic. I'm truly sincere." But Rachel didn't believe me. She scanned me from head to toe. "Those clothes, did you get them from a supermarket? We've been dating for 3 years and I've never seen you wear anything branded. Even at our wedding, your parents were dressed plainly. With your background and your flaws, asking for a divorce is just you throwing a tantrum." I couldn't help but laugh at myself. I moved to Canada with my parents as a child. People there don't care about designer brands, they just want to feel comfortable. That shaped me. So when I returned to China, I didn't care about labels. Supermarket clothes suit me just fine. And canvas bags? I find them simple, eco-friendly, and very practical. I never thought Rachel would twist my lifestyle into some sign of family inadequacy. I really wanted to laugh. "Who says you need to wear jewelry to prove you have money? I'll be at the company at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau together." Our values were too different. I didn't want to argue anymore. I opened the door and walked inside. When I saw Rachel about to follow me in, I quickly shut the door. It slammed into her nose. She yelled through the door, "James Carter, stop being so unreasonable. I already gave you a way out, and you're still being difficult." I leaned against the door and listened to her angry voice calmly. Just a month ago, we were sitting in front of a map planning our honeymoon. Now, it had come to this. My phone rang. A WeChat friend request appeared. It was Michael Turner. I accepted it, and he messaged me right away, "Hi, I'm Michael Turner. You know who I am." I hadn't replied yet when he sent me 6 photos. The first 3 were from today: Rachel Evans in the kitchen, cooking noodles. The last 3 were from our wedding day. She was wearing her suit, sitting on a bed, and handing Michael Turner a glass of water. I felt like I was watching maggots crawl. Fighting off nausea, I replied, "I've never seen someone so shameless in destroying someone else's marriage." Michael sent back a smug emoji. "Rachel said you loved her like a puppy. Are you really that obsessed with her?" I replied, "Whatever happens between us has nothing to do with you." He sent another smug emoji. "Do you believe I can get her here with just one call?" Sure enough, a phone rang outside. I heard Rachel Evans whisper something, then the knocking stopped. A moment later, I looked outside, but all I saw was the back of her car driving away. 15 minutes later, Michael Turner sent me another photo. Rachel Evans got out of her car and walked toward him. I had been dating her for 6 years, and we had many beautiful and sweet memories. Do you still think you can capture her heart? After that, Michael Turner posted a moment on WeChat, "After 6 years, my heart is still beating." The picture showed a sapphire necklace one Rachel Evans had given me before. I had left it on the coffee table when I walked away, but I didn't want it. I suddenly felt sick and quickly blocked both Michael Turner and Rachel Evans on WeChat. The next day, I went to Rachel Evans's company to look for her. The gentleman at the front desk must have heard what happened at the wedding. He looked at me with sympathy, but I was calm. I called Rachel Evans, but she didn't answer. I then called her assistant and asked him to let her know I was waiting in the lobby. 2 hours later, Rachel Evans came down lazily. As soon as we met, her face was full of impatience. "James Carter, being too pretentious will only make you lose face. I don't want to say more to you. Let's get a divorce." Many employees were walking around. My words were loud and clear, and many people heard them. Rachel Evans probably felt embarrassed, her face darkened. "Okay, let's leave if we want to." I drove us to the Civil Affairs Bureau myself. The atmosphere in the car was tense. I didn't look at her much from beginning to end. Rachel Evans finally realized I was serious, and her tone softened. "Husband, I really know I was wrong. Can you give me another chance?" She tried to grab my hand, but I pulled away. She was born with a pair of charming peach blossom eyes, and at that moment, she looked at me with deep disappointment. For the past 3 years, I had been bathed in that gaze and had placed her in my future, but now she looked heartbroken. I deliberately avoided looking at her. While waiting at a traffic light, her phone suddenly rang. I picked it up, and Michael Turner's voice came from the other end. I don't know what he said, but her face stiffened and she glanced at me subconsciously. At that moment, a car rear-ended us. Luckily, it wasn't a major collision, just a shake. 2 burly men got out of the car behind us and walked toward us aggressively. Rachel Evans opened the door and stepped out. I thought she was going to negotiate with them, but instead, she said to me, "Michael Turner slipped at home. I'll go check on him. You handle the guys and then drive back by yourself. Baby, I really love you. Let's stop fighting, okay?" She leaned in to kiss me to comfort me, but I turned away with a cold face. She froze, looked at me in frustration, then hurried to the side of the road. A bus was just about to leave. It was midsummer, yet I felt chilled to the bone. The men from the car saw I was alone and demanded I transfer 50,000 yuan to them. It was clearly their fault. Their car hit us, but while mine was undamaged, their headlights were broken and their bumper was hanging loose. I was furious at their arrogance and said I'd call the police. Suddenly, a bald man pulled a large wrench from under his seat and hurled it at me. I dodged quickly, but another man shoved me down hard. I fell unexpectedly, a sharp cramp hit my back and abdomen, and I felt warm liquid sliding down my forehead. The wrench had landed on my back. The intense, throbbing pain and abdominal cramping blurred my consciousness. The men realized I might be seriously injured and panicked. They jumped into their car and fled. A kind driver passing by called 120 and the police. That night, Rachel Evans rushed to my hospital room looking disheveled. Not just her, Michael Turner came too. Rachel approached my bed with guilt in her eyes. James Carter, I'm sorry. I gave a cold smile and said nothing. Her face fell. Michael Turner couldn't hold back and snapped, James Carter, without your hearing aids, you're deaf. Why are you still being so unreasonable? I snorted, raised my eyebrows, and looked at him. I divorced Rachel Evans so you could take over, and now you're pretending to be a love saint. Michael Turner went pale and stayed silent. Rachel Evans composed herself and said, James Carter, I brought Michael Turner to apologize to you. Then she signaled to him with her eyes. Michael Turner pursed his lips and said reluctantly, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have ruined your wedding. This was entirely my fault. I watched their interaction with great interest. When I met Assistant Rachel Evans earlier today, I went up to speak with her and learned that she'd taken Michael Turner on a business trip recently. Apparently, she had appointed him as her chief secretary. I said to her, Rachel Evans, I just want a clean divorce. You're the president of the company, after all. If I involve the media and things get out of hand, it could damage your reputation as an entrepreneur. Rachel clearly hadn't expected me to say that. A trace of contempt flashed across her face as she replied, fine. Divorce me if you want, but don't come crawling back later. I gave her a faint smile and said I'd never regret it. The next morning, I couldn't wait to go with Rachel to the Civil Affairs Bureau. After completing the divorce formalities, I felt an overwhelming sense of relief. Michael Turner stepped out of the car to greet Rachel as if he were in high spirits, clearly pleased that she was finally divorced. As we parted, Rachel turned to me and said, I don't see how you can live without me. After I recovered, I focused all my energy on work. The government had just announced a new round of bidding for a large-scale dam project. During this time, many of the bidding companies reached out to me, hoping to obtain technical data related to the dam's construction. One of my colleagues informed me, Professor James, BrightBridge Solutions wants to meet you. When would be a good time? BrightBridge Solutions, as it turned out, was founded by Rachel Evans. I didn't expect her company to be bidding too. To save everyone's time, we decided that all interested companies would attend a joint session or more private meetings. Assistant Emma Collins handled the scheduling. When I arrived at the session, the heads of all the bidding companies were already present. The project was massive, the government estimated a total cost of around $4.5 billion. Beyond the profits, whoever landed this deal would also gain substantial prestige. Unsurprisingly, all attendees were senior executives. I spotted James Carter, Michael Turner, and Rachel Evans seated together in the front row. As I entered, I noticed the dismissive looks on their faces. They clearly didn't expect to see me. Rachel assumed I was there to cause trouble. She stood up and said sharply, James Carter, we're divorced. Don't ruin my business. I laughed. President Rachel Evans, it's been 2 months and you're still as arrogant as ever. She glared at me warily. Just then, Emma Collins approached and said, President Rachel, please take your seat. Professor James will explain everything shortly. No individual meetings allowed. Rachel was clearly confused. Emma then introduced me to the room. Hello everyone, this is my doctoral advisor, Professor James Carter. He is the chief engineer responsible for the mathematical modeling of this dam project. He will now present the relevant data. Rachel and Michael's expressions changed instantly. Under their shocked gaze, I walked to the podium, opened the presentation, and began to explain. After the meeting, Rachel rushed over and asked, You're the chief modeling engineer. How old are you? I calmly replied, Miss Rachel Evans, haven't you heard of geniuses? My father is a renowned figure in the mathematics world, and my mother is a well-known architect. I was influenced by both of them from a young age. I've loved math all my life, skipped several grades, earned my PhD early, and returned from Canada to serve as a doctoral advisor here. I also take on select modeling projects like this one. I paused, then added, maybe it was my obsession with mathematics that led me to fall for you. You were my first love. I had no dating experience back then, so I didn't realize how indifferent you were. You never asked about my family, never cared about my work, and never included me in your social circles. Now I see that what felt like sweetness was actually neglect. Fortunately, we're done. I turned and walked away. From behind, I heard Michael scoff, he's faking it. No way, he's a genius, only 28. Who's he trying to fool? Later, school leadership hosted a dinner to celebrate the successful completion of my work. By chance, I saw Rachel again. She was in a sharp business suit, seeing off a group of corporate elites. When she noticed the school leaders at my table, she walked over to greet them. Her expression froze when she saw me. One of the school leaders who had introduced us back then happened to be there and said, "Rachel Evans, I knew James Carter was exceptional, that's why I introduced him to you. I was so happy when you two dated for 3 years and finally got married. But I never expected you to back out on the wedding day. Didn't you know he's a high-salary doctoral lecturer we recruited?" Rachel's face went pale. "He's so young. I always thought he was just an exchange student." The school leader frowned. "Who said he was an exchange student? He is a modeling expert in the mathematics department. He has led the development of several projects. The patents alone are enough for him to live on for several lifetimes. His parents are both well-known professors." Rachel Evans was stunned. I lowered my head in self-mockery. Rachel Evans thought I had defects and must be very mediocre in academics. In addition, my clothes and expenses were very similar to those of ordinary students, so she thought I was an exchange student from a poor family. "Teacher Gao, Miss Rachel Evans, and I have nothing to do with each other anymore, let's not talk about the past." At the end of the party, Rachel Evans wanted to take me home, but I politely declined and waved to stop a taxi. When I got home, I found that Rachel Evans had arrived earlier than me and was standing at the door waiting for me. "Husband," she greeted me as soon as she saw me, as if she had forgotten the fact that we were divorced. I looked at her calmly and curled my lips sarcastically. "Miss Rachel Evans, we are divorced." Rachel Evans came forward and tried to hold my hand. I dodged her like I was avoiding the coronavirus. Her hand froze in midair. "Husband, I regret it. I haven't been able to forget you at all in the past 2 months. Can we get back together? I just thought it was funny. When we divorced, she said I would regret it, but now it seems that she is the one who regrets it. As for whether it was sincere or for other purposes, I couldn't tell anymore, and I was too lazy to care. Sorry, I don't have the idea of going back to my ex." I clearly refused. For many days afterward, Rachel Evans would appear in my life from time to time. When I was doing experiments in the laboratory, she would wait for me outside with a bouquet of flowers. When I was in the classroom, she would act like a good student, sitting and staring at me in a daze. She would even show up at my doorstep with breakfast in the morning. I was fed up with such harassment. When Rachel Evans appeared in front of me again, I made it clear that I would not interfere with the bidding. It all depended on the strength of Brightbridge Solutions Company. Rachel Evans's expression froze. "James Carter, I really regret it. It has nothing to do with the bidding." I was silent for a moment. When I looked up again, my eyes were calm and resolute. "But I don't love you anymore." Rachel Evans's eyes dimmed. She didn't come to see me again that day. But that night, I received a strange call. Michael Turner was crying on the phone and asked me to go to the bar to pick up Rachel Evans and take her home. I felt confused and hung up the phone directly. The next day, Michael Turner came to the school to find me. "James Carter, do you know how much effort Rachel Evans has put into this project and how many nights she has stayed up? You have the heart to let all her efforts go to waste. You found the wrong person. I am only responsible for modeling. The bidding is not my business." Michael Turner was aggressive. "We have already understood your identity. With your energy, it will only take a word from you to let Brightbridge Solutions win the bid. You love Rachel Evans so much. But now you don't even want to help her with a small matter." I smiled. "Times have changed. Mr. Michael Turner thinks that Rachel Evans treated me like this, so how can I still love her? Michael Turner's breath was choked. Rachel Evans liked you after all. For the sake of your past relationship, can't you help her? I can't help it. It's just time for my class. I turned and left. Michael Turner was desperate. James Carter, if you don't help me, I will make you regret it. I paused and looked back at Michael Turner. His handsome face was full of resentment. I curved my lips. Since they don't want me to have an easy life, then I will take the initiative. Before I entered the classroom, I posted the provocative words that Michael Turner sent me on the internet and attached a photo of him and Rachel Evans. I was fast enough, so the rumors spread by Michael Turner were self-defeating, and he and Rachel Evans were embarrassed. After such a thing, Fu Yang's qualification to participate in the bidding was likely to be lost. The school was going to hold a school anniversary. At Emma Collins's request, I went to the mall to buy some nice clothes. On the day of the school anniversary, I wore a formal black suit. Drinking and chatting with alumni, a figure approached me. Rachel Evans's eyes fell on me deeply. James Carter, you look very handsome today. I raised my eyebrows. Thank you for the compliment. I actually know that I'm not bad looking, but I don't care about dressing up and never make up deliberately. Rachel Evans's eyebrows and eyes deepened. The rumor was unilaterally released by Michael Turner. I didn't know about it in advance. I shrugged indifferently. It's okay. Anyway, I slapped you in the face. Michael Turner posted on the school forum, saying that I abandoned my fiancée of 3 years after I became successful and that I had been using her and spending her money for the past 3 years. I turned around and told her that I ruined my wedding and Rachel Evans's cheating. Assistant Emma Collins posted my glorious deeds again. I have more than 100 million yuan in deposits in my bank card, so I don't need to spend anyone else's money. I have pictures and the truth. I have all the photos of the two of us checking into a hotel. The time was exactly the 3 days when I was hospitalized due to injury and she was recuperating after a miscarriage. This wave of operations successfully shut up the scumbag in the scumbag. Rachel Evans's face was full of regret. James Carter, are we really unable to go back? I pretended to be surprised. Didn't you say that you had been dating Michael Turner for 6 years and that you had such deep feelings for him that you couldn't just ignore him? Rachel Evans's face showed pain. I regretted it. James Carter, can you give me another chance? Suddenly, the school leader came over excitedly and said, James Carter, come meet a top student who introduced Rachel Evans and me before. I took the opportunity to follow him to the top student he mentioned. It was a young girl with bright, intelligent eyes and beautiful features. It was you. I was surprised. James Carter, the other party shouted excitedly. The school leader looked at me and asked, Student James, do you know Lily Thompson? I smiled at Lily Thompson. We actually knew each other when we were teenagers. Back then, my parents felt the progress of mathematics in Canada was slow, so they sent me back to China for tutoring during the winter and summer vacations. We met in the tutoring class and later again at the International Mathematical Olympiad. After that, I was studying for a doctorate and busy with various projects, so I lost contact with her. Lily Thompson was much more excited to see me than I was. She walked up and hugged me tightly. It's great to meet you. I smiled and said, I'm also very happy. After all, the school leaders were right this time. Lily Thompson is truly an academic master. We chatted and laughed, but Rachel Evans, who had been standing off to the side, wore a grim expression. No one paid attention to her. Ever since I posted the little things between her and Michael Turner on the forum, her reputation had plummeted. Even those teachers who had once been proud of her refused to admit teaching her, including the school leaders. Rachel Evans seemed to want to join our conversation, but Lily Thompson and I were talking about math problems, and she couldn't get a word in. After a while, Michael Turner, dressed provocatively, came over to her. She avoided him with a sullen face. At the end of the event, Lily Thompson was still unsatisfied and kept asking, James Carter, you won't suddenly lose contact with me this time, will you? I shook my head. I'm working at university now, and I've signed a contract. I won't leave within 5 years. Lily Thompson was so excited she wanted to hug me again, but I stepped back. Her enthusiasm was a bit overwhelming. Realizing this, Lily smiled apologetically. See you tomorrow. Later, I learned Lily Thompson had applied to teach at University A and became my colleague. She even rented the house across from mine and became my neighbor. I wasn't good at cooking, but she naturally helped me every day. Gradually, except for necessary work separations, she was almost inseparable from me. I wasn't stupid. I naturally sensed her feelings. It was just that I had just gotten out of my last relationship and didn't want to rush into a new one. Fortunately, Lily didn't push it and only discussed math problems with me daily. I thought this life was great, but Rachel Evans was always around. Brightbridge Solutions lost the qualification to participate in the dam bidding, a huge blow to Rachel Evans. I heard from colleagues she had been drinking in bars for a week and had broken up with Michael Turner. I'm a straightforward person. Since we are divorced, I don't care about her affairs. I just want to focus on my research. But my seemingly calm life was actually turbulent. One day, after getting off the elevator as usual, a man in a gray jacket suddenly slashed at me with a long knife. I instinctively dodged backward. In the narrow elevator, I desperately dodged left and right. It's all your fault. You took my place. I recognized him as a PhD student who studied abroad and was hired alongside me. He studied at MIT and was engaged in mathematical modeling at University A, but the school leaders said he lacked imagination and couldn't do modeling work. Idiot, go to hell, he shouted, swinging the knife again. This time, he cut my arm, and blood gushed out. I called for help, but no one was around. Just as his third strike came down toward my head, I heard, James Carter, go away. Go away. I was stunned. The attacker's eyes were bloodshot, and he was struggling madly with Rachel Evans. I saw a cleaning lady at the elevator entrance and rushed out to grab the mop in her hand, hitting the attacker. His bloodshot eyes turned toward me with murderous intent as if he wanted to devour me. Rachel Evans hugged him tightly, not letting him break free and hurt me. Then came a chilling sound. The long knife sank into Rachel Evans's abdomen. Almost instantly, blood flowed from the corner of her mouth, but she still held him tightly. Her eyes looked at me, and there was a smile on her face. My blood coagulated, and I almost forgot the danger. Fortunately, the school security rushed over and stopped the attacker's madness. While waiting for the ambulance, I pressed on Rachel Evans's wound. Rachel Evans, don't die. She held my hand weakly, her eyes locked on mine. James Carter, can you forgive me? My expression remained calm. You can only have my forgiveness if you're alive. Rachel Evans was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. The foreign doctor was arrested by the police. When Lily Thompson arrived, I was guarding outside the operating room, covered in blood. Your arm. I glanced at the arm wrapped in gauze. It's been disinfected and stitched. It's okay. Lily Thompson stared at me with concern and then worriedly at the lit operating room. After 5 long hours, the doctor came out exhausted. The patient's will to survive is strong. As long as she gets through the critical 24-hour period safely, she'll be fine. Lily Thompson and I both breathed a sigh of relief. After finding a nurse, we were about to leave when Rachel Evans and Michael Turner rushed over. As soon as Michael Turner saw me, he stormed forward, ready to slap me, but Lily Thompson grabbed his wrist to stop him. Michael Turner, furious, yelled, "You've made Rachel Evans miserable enough, haven't you? She almost died for you, and you just want to walk away like nothing happened. There's no such cheap thing in this world." I looked coldly at the enraged Michael Turner and motioned for Lily Thompson to leave with me. Lily shook off Michael Turner and hurriedly followed. On the way back, she hesitated before speaking. "Are you asking if I would turn back since Rachel Evans risked her life to save me?" Lily nodded gently. I shook my head firmly. "No, I won't be so petty as to think that a life-saving favor must be repaid with my body." There are many ways to repay a debt, and I won't choose one that makes me despise myself. When I got home, Lily Thompson ran water for me to wash. One of my arms was completely immobile, so she was almost the only one helping me wash. Her face was flushed the whole time, and she looked quite cute. The first 24 hours were tough. When I got the news that Rachel Evans had woken up, Lily Thompson and I went to the hospital to see her. When she saw us together, her already pale face turned even paler. I walked to her bedside and looked down at her. "Rachel Evans, you need to get better soon so you can manage Fu Yang well." She sensed my concern, and her eyes lit up. I added, "Don't think about repaying the favor. I will only despise you if you try." That sentence extinguished all of Rachel Evans's fantasies. "You saved me this time, so consider it compensation for all the harm you've caused me before. We're even now. Hating someone only drains your energy, and I won't waste mine on someone unworthy. When you stood up and walked into Fu Yang, that was the moment I forgave you." Rachel Evans's expression darkened. She listened powerlessly and said nothing. After I said what I needed to, I left with Lily Thompson. Half a month later, Rachel Evans was discharged from the hospital, and I came to pick her up. She was still living in the bridal suite I had prepared before. All the facilities were unchanged. Some figurines I bought were still in their original places, and the sapphire necklace was still on the coffee table. When she saw my eyes fall on the necklace, Rachel Evans immediately explained, "The necklace I gave Michael Turner was a replica, different from this one." I smiled calmly. "Let's not talk about the past." Rachel Evans held her breath and sat on the sofa with a pale face. There was a blue pillow I bought on the sofa, which she silently picked up and put on her legs. I called a housekeeper for her. "Your body hasn't fully recovered yet. Rest well at home first." After the housekeeper arrived, I got up and left. Rachel Evans got up and called after me, "James Carter, you know, right?" I looked at her indifferently. I know. That foreign doctor had been arrogant since arriving at a university and felt frustrated. After being discovered by Michael Turner, he instigated her to blame everything on me. Under his influence and drugs, he tried to kill me. Rachel Evans nodded expressionlessly. "Yes, I didn't expect Michael Turner to be so vicious. I'm sorry." After a moment of silence, she murmured in pain. "He wouldn't hate you that much. I brought your danger upon me." As she spoke, she actually knelt down and said, "I'm sorry, James Carter." I looked outside, and it had started to rain. Lily Thompson was standing in the rain with an umbrella, waiting for me. "Rachel Evans, Lily Thompson is waiting for me." I left. "Goodbye." I didn't look back, I rushed into the rain without hesitation. Not long after I got home, Assistant Rachel Evans called me and said that Rachel Evans went to the company without following the doctor's advice. I smiled. She is an adult and will be responsible for her own behavior. Assistant Rachel Evans hung up the phone without saying anything more. Lily Thompson brought me a cup of ginger tea. "Drink some to prevent colds." I finished the ginger tea, took out the invitation letter for the Hodge Conjecture seminar, and shook it at Lily Thompson. "Are you going?" Lily Thompson laughed. "It just so happens that I also received an invitation letter, so of course, we will go together." While Rachel Evans was working hard for her company, Lily Thompson and I were also traveling in the world of mathematics. 2 years later, my contract with the University of A expired. Lily Thompson looked at me nervously. "Are you willing to stay for me?" I nodded at her, yes. Everything was plain as water, but she was really very, very suitable for me. The haze of the past finally dissipated, and no one would hurt me with my shortcomings anymore. When I saw James Carter for the first time, I felt that he was like a scholar untainted by the dust. His eyebrows were clean, and his eyes were innocent. Who would not want to have a love with such a clear man? I began to pursue him passionately. I could feel that this was his first time falling in love. All the joy showed on his face. He was in love with the intention of marrying me. After he and I got the marriage certificate, I became unscrupulous without realizing it and finally made the wrong choice at the wedding. I thought that someone as pure and soft-hearted as him would quietly wait for me at home. But when I went back, his attitude changed. I still didn't take it too seriously. I thought he would wait for me obediently there. I even thought that he was just making trouble with me by filing for divorce. So, after I received a call from Michael Turner, I left him and faced the perpetrator alone. Michael Turner didn't lie to me. He slipped while taking a shower at home. When I arrived at his house, he was still lying in the bathroom, unable to move. His legs were bruised. I helped him to the bed, but he actually took the opportunity to hug me. I was still rational, so I pushed him away. He looked at me aggrieved. "Rachel Evans, you don't love me anymore." I sneered, "You stopped loving me the moment you broke up with me." Michael Turner was so sad that he cried. I came from a poor family. My mother was an ordinary employee, and my father left when I was very young. All my achievements today are the result of my own hard work. In the early days of my business, Michael Turner saw me struggling and having no money. When I was the poorest, I could only live in the partition of a shared house and eat instant noodles with ham. He couldn't stand it for more than 3 months and broke up with me. When I was at my lowest, he abandoned me. I heard from my classmates that he came to me because he was abandoned by his girlfriend, a rich girl. My vanity got the better of me, and I wanted him to see that I was living a good life now. Not only did I have a career, but I also had a husband who loved me. I arrogantly took him on a business trip, but he climbed into my bed while I was drunk. What shouldn't have happened happened. I was terrified. Suddenly, I received a call from Assistant Rachel Evans, saying that James Carter was in the hospital because of me. I went to the hospital to see him, and he looked very bad. I took Michael Turner to apologize to him, but it seemed to have the opposite effect. I could feel that James Carter was leaving me. After the divorce, the school leaders told me about his excellence. Only then did I realize how shallow and conceited I had always been. He had a hearing impairment, but he never felt inferior. He lived a radiant life, and I used this in a despicable way to try to weaken his self-confidence so that he would not leave me. Facts proved that I was the clown. I gave Michael Turner a sum of money and asked him to stop bothering me. Unexpectedly, he was unwilling to give up and blamed James Carter for my not turning back. He secretly instigated the mentally unstable overseas doctoral student to hurt James Carter. Fortunately, I saved his life. He said that when I recovered and stepped into Brightbridge Solutions again, that was the moment he forgave me. On the day I was discharged from the hospital, after he left, I rushed to Brightbridge Solutions as fast as I could. "James Carter, have you forgiven me?" When Michael Turner was sentenced, I went to see him for the last time. James Carter and Lily Thompson were together. They were a good match. Michael Turner was stunned for a moment, then laughed wildly. "That's great, that's great. I'm unfortunate, and you can't expect happiness either." I looked at him coldly. "You are so cruel, you will be punished in prison for the rest of your life." Michael Turner's face was distorted with anger, and he cursed at me. Later, I heard that James Carter had a son who looked like Lily Thompson. I thought he was probably another academic bully. The end. But I have a feeling that Rachel Evans will not be back within half an hour. Rachel Evans called me countless times after midnight. I have no reason to show them my wounds. Yesterday's big screen was done by Michael Turner. A disabled person meets such an excellent woman like Rachel Evans. The mathematical modeling of the dam designed by me is gradually coming to an end. The meeting was held in the conference room of the school office building. When Rachel Evans sat down at the table, she started nagging. Proof that he was successful before I met Rachel Evans. He asked for my WeChat and mobile phone number and was still worried. A woman in a professional suit rushed over and pushed him aside. If it weren't for my lingering feelings that gave Michael Turner hope, Lily Thompson and I would not have had a sensational love experience.